You know what, right now, breaking news here, stocks all around the world are tanking because of the crisis on Wall Street. Pauline Chu is in for Jennifer.
The American investment bank Lehman Brothers has filed for bankruptcy in New York. That's happened in the last few minutes. It means the Wall Street institution, which has been in business for 150 years and survived the Great Depression, is now the most high-profile casualty of the credit crunch.
In September 2008, the recession struck the banking industry hard. Lehman Brothers filed for the largest bankruptcy in U.S. history with over $600 billion in assets. This coincided with the near collapse of the entire U.S. banking industry. What had occurred to make these massive banks so unstable? Our story begins in the Great Depression. Over 9,000 banks failed during the Great Depression, and this was largely the result of inadequate regulation. In 1933, Senator Carter Glass and Representative Henry Steagall successfully pushed the Glass-Steagall Act through Congress. This act imposed strict regulations on the banking industry. Firms were no longer able to operate as both a commercial bank and an investment bank. This system worked very well until 1999, when Senators Phil Gramm and Jim Leach, along with Representative Thomas Bliley, were able to pass the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act. This act effectively repealed many major sections of the Glass-Steagall Act, including the separation of investment and commercial banks. In the lead-up to the banking crisis of 2008, investment banks gambled with the money held in their affiliated commercial banks. One piece of misguided legislation is to be expected in a country as large as America. But this was not just misguided legislation. This was a malicious strike on democracy by the revolving door. The revolving door is the idea that many politicians, either before or after their public service, will work in the industries that they are making legislation for. The Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act is a prime example of this. Phil Gramm worked in Congress for 23 years making legislation tied directly to the banking industry. The year that he retired from public service, Phil Gramm went on to work for UBS, a Swiss investment bank. Thomas Bliley served 30 years in the House of Representatives, and upon retirement, Bliley went on to work for a number of lobbying firms representing the banking industry. The story does not end there, however. Dick Cheney served as vice president for 8 years under George W. Bush. Immediately before this, however, Cheney was CEO of an oil company called Halliburton, which may explain why the Bush administration was so friendly to the oil industry. Billy Townsend served in the House of Representatives for 25 years. Afterwards, he became president and CEO of Pharma, a lobbying firm for the healthcare industry. Interestingly enough, 2 months before resigning from Congress, he played a key role in passing a bill that was very generous to the pharmaceutical industry. Not all hope is lost, though. H.R. 440 is a bill introduced by Representative Bill Posey and has the chance to change this. The gist of the bill is that congressmen cannot lobby for an industry until 5 years after they leave Congress. This is a step in the right direction that needs your help to pass in Congress. Please go to the site listed and find your local representative and call him or her to let them know that you support this bill. Together we can close the revolving door.